Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Raiders push to make run at All-Pro QB who could be free agent in 2025. The Las Vegas Raiders were among the teams with the biggest need at quarterback this offseason, but the only one they were able to add was Gardner Minshew. He's currently battling Aiden O'Connell for the starting job, so he's not a clear upgrade over what the team had last season. If the Raiders don't get a top 10 draft pick in next year's draft, it could continue to be difficult to upgrade at quarterback. However, they may have one notable option. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has yet to get a contract extension and could be a free agent next offseason. Bleacher Report went through and offered a 2025 free agent target for every NFL team, and they listed Prescott for the Raiders. If Prescott gets through this season without an extension, it would only make sense for him to at least see what he could get on the open market, the BR NFL scouting department wrote in a July 31st column. The Raiders would make sense as a landing spot. Considering the supporting cast that includes Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and Michael Mayer with a promising defense, Prescott could be the missing piece. Prescott becomes even more appealing to Las Vegas if they're an 8 or 9 win team that is held back by poor quarterback play. Prescott finished second in MVP voting last season and led the NFL with 36 touchdown passes. That sounds like a player who would get whatever contract they want. However, his playoff record of 2-5 is concerning, and it's fair to question if the Cowboys can get over the hump with him at quarterback. With Dallas having so many other key players they need to be, it could be appealing to reset the clock at quarterback and go after a cheaper and younger player. Despite the prolonged contract negotiations, Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer doesn't see Prescott leaving the team that drafted him. Let's put that at 10%, Breer wrote about the chances Prescott leaves Dallas in an August 1st column. I just think in the end, these things get done. Do the Dallas Cowboys have misgivings about jumping on the quarterback cost escalation train? Clearly. But the market has defined itself. It was interesting for me, in talking to COO Stephen Jones last week, to hear a level of contentment in how deals for Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jared Goff got done. With so many top quarterbacks getting extensions this offseason, the Raiders will have limited options in free agency if Prescott re-signs with Dallas. There will be a lot of backup-level quarterbacks in free agency next year, like Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson. The Raiders may need to go all out on drafting a quarterback in 2025 if Minshew and O'Connell aren't great in 2024. Some of the early candidates to be the first quarterbacks off the board are Georgia's Carson Beck and Colorado's Shedeur Sanders. The Raiders should be scouting college quarterbacks very closely this year, as there isn't a clear veteran upgrade who will be available next year. Texans' Troy Aikman did not hold back on opinion about Bobby Slowik. The success that C.J. Stroud is experiencing is not a coincidence. Bobby Slowik has been carefully crafting the Houston Texans offense in order to let his star thrive in almost all situations. With another season for the defensive coordinator and quarterback duo, DeMeco Ryans will surely notch more entries in the win column. A big believer in this squad is Dallas Cowboys legend Troy Aikman. Look, it's very hard to impress a legendary quarterback with one's schemes. Bobby Slowik did exactly that in front of Troy Aikman. The Cowboys' legendary signal caller could not help but wonder why the Texans' offensive coordinator chose to stay with DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud instead of being another team's head honcho, via Larry Brown Sports. I will say, if it had been up to me, he wouldn't be the coordinator right now. I was pushing him for a head coaching job. He's going to get a job, maybe it'll be after this season, who knows? Talked to a lot of people who he's been on a staff with, and they have nothing but great things to say about him. He's got an awfully bright future, Aikman declared. The Cowboys legend does make a great point here about the Texans' offensive coordinator. Slowik was reportedly offered to be interviewed at least 5 times for a head coaching position in the league. he still has not made his reason for staying with the Stroud and Ryans-led Texans. But, it's not hard to see why he thinks that this squad could take him to football immortality. An offensive coordinator's schemes can only ever be as good as the quarterback who is executing their game plan. Stroud has proven to be one of the best at the signal caller spot last year, despite being a rookie. Slowick noted that his main offensive engine is so insane that it may be close to Tom Brady's acumen on the field already. Brady is the best example. Brady was elite at doing that. How he got to the top may be different, but always got to his launch point in the pocket and then was able to navigate push. Being willing to take what the defense gave him in between the special plays made him an extremely efficient quarterback. And that's something that CJ is really embracing, he said about the Texans' second-year quarterback. This duo has been quite insane in their first year together. Their accomplishments are only going to go higher. Cowboys to sign 2 edge rushers after workout. The Dallas Cowboys are expected to sign edge rushers Shaka Toney and Alquadin Muhammad after successful workouts on Thursday afternoon in Oxnard. In the aftermath of losing Sam Williams for the season due to an ACL tear, the Cowboys immediately addressed the depth by adding 2 bodies to the room. The workout also included Carl Lawson and Justin Hollins, neither of which are expected to sign at this time after the personnel department decides to go with 2 other additions. Toney, who was a 7th-round selection for the Washington Commanders in the 2021 NFL Draft, has just 1.5 sacks and 16 tackles in 26 career games. The bulk of his experience has come on special teams where Sam Williams also leaves a void after emerging within John Fassel's group a year ago. Toney played his college ball at Penn State alongside Micah Parsons. Muhammad, a 6th-round selection for the New Orleans Saints in the 2017 NFL Draft, has the leg up on experience with 157 tackles and 12 sacks in 84 career games. His career has seen him spend 1 year in New Orleans, 4 seasons with the Indianapolis Colts and 1 season with the Chicago Bears in 2022. Both Muhammad and Toney spent parts of the 2023 season on the league's suspension list. Muhammad was suspended for 6 games for violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing drugs while on the practice squad with the Colts. He was released by the team after the season but will still have to serve 1 remaining game of his suspension. In April 2023, Toney was suspended indefinitely for violating the league's policy on gambling and was reinstated on April 18, 2024. Shortly after being reinstated, he was released by the Commanders. Sam Williams' injury leaves behind a hole in the edge position group that was already looking to replace production lost in the offseason by the departures of Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler Jr. to the Washington Commanders. While the production and experience are not nearly the same for Muhammad and Toney, each will have the opportunity to claim a roster spot for the rest of training camp and preseason. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Carl Lawson? Leave your opinion in the comments.